Hey everyone, so today I've got a deck profile for you. I went to the Argent Saga Championship in Fort Worth, Texas. It was a lot of fun. I always love going to those. It was my second event, and I ended up getting 15th, which was pretty good. I was happy with that. I really wanted a top 8, and I came really close. I blew it in round 5, actually. I had a way to win, and I think I just got nervous and I choked or something. But anyway, 15th is decent. I was happy with that performance. It's a little bummed that I blew it and I was the cause of that. But hey, you live and you learn, right? But anyway, like I said, I had tons of fun. The people I stayed with, Javier, Lee, and Will, they were great guys. Had a lot of fun kind of just talking about the game, joking around. It was a really great weekend. I ended up getting sick. That's why I still sound like crap, but it was definitely worth it. So I got my Rainbow Jamal, which is always cool. The metal cards are really great, so I was happy with that. But I want to just talk about the deck I ran. I ended up playing Ergon Corono, and I'd like to say I ran this deck because I knew people were going to counter Liam with Jamal Sola, but I would be lying. I played this deck because I did not feel comfortable enough to play Liam Kite, and I thought Ergon was kind of broken in itself, and even though the Liam Kite matchup could be tough, it was still winnable. So I ended up playing this, and I got lucky with it being the right call because I played a lot of blue-yellow at the championship, so it ended up working up in my favor. So let's get to the deck list. So for my dark cards, I run 3 Shrieker. Shrieker gets your engine running. You do need to be careful with Shrieker, though. If you play it too early and you don't have ways to utilize the cards that you milled, you really have to be careful of a well-timed Bone Scavenger. It can really hurt this deck. Bone Scavenger is pretty much what keeps Ergon in check, so you really have to use Shrieker wisely. I run 3 Hoenna. This card is so good. It's probably better than any other card in the deck. For a long time, I thought Treat was the best card in this deck, and it's really darn close, but I think Hoenna is better after utilizing it this weekend. And also, I played Nori the very last round, and he pretty much savaged me, and I watched him play Hoenna, and I just learned so much just from those 2 games that I played against him that made me really realize how great this card was, and I started playing it how he played it, and I was like, oh my gosh, how did I not play this like this way? And it's hard to explain. I know that sounded confusing, but it's very, very broken card, and I would not be surprised if this card becomes a problem in the future. There's a lot of cards like that in this game, though, so I guess that's kind of nice. Each color kind of has their own thing, but yeah, this card's nuts. I would never reduce it from 3 in this deck for sure. I also ran 3 Golem of Allurement. My thought process here was obviously to take Bone Scavengers, but also steal Rubber Bloom tokens. I really thought that was going to be a big thing. It did come in handy. This card was not bad this weekend. It wasn't great, though. So this card is something that I would put in the side deck for sure. But as a main deck choice, I don't think it was a bad call. I ran 1 Hellish Guardhound. The reasoning behind this was to just slow down Liam decks, and I didn't even play one. So this card was really lackluster. It was not good, and it's definitely one of the cards that I would cut immediately. So I did play Gigath. I really liked Gigath. The only problem with Gigath is it's very susceptible to Bone Scavenger, and he was very prevalent at this event. I thought Gigath was going to come in handy a lot against the Liam decks because of Finishing Ray. He did come in handy a lot against Blue for that reason, to protect the next card that we're going to talk about, which was Catastrophe Demon. This card was probably the MVP right behind Hoenna. It puts so much pressure. The fact that everything comes into play exhausted and then it's a destroyer on top of that, they have to exhaust a lot of resources to get rid of it. and then you bring out the Hoenna after they've exhausted those resources, and then you can just play this again. So very good card. It's a great out to like a cast Bone Scavenger. When they try and play Bone Scavenger, you can respond with Hoenna to bring this out, to have the Bone Scavenger come in tapped, so then you can attack it. So very good card. I really like Catastrophe Demon. 3 is probably too much, especially if you run 3 Gigath. Running 3 Catastrophe is okay, because then you can pitch them for the Gigath. But I might do something with this package as well, just because it's so susceptible to Bone Scavenger. But for the tournament, I didn't have any complaints. So I also ran 2 Catrina. Catrina was really good. Being able to get back tricks that you might have milled, or just to put yourself in a situation to maybe sacrifice your shade with a trick to avoid it from getting bounced with a Mizu, or things of that nature, or to chain in response to something, was just fantastic. Being able to add back additional tricks really make Catrina really good, and I completely underestimated her whenever she was first announced. But Trick has become, Treat. I've been saying Trick this whole time. Treat has become such a very pivotal card in Ergon decks that it's so important to get it back, and that's why Catrina is fantastic. I played 2 Granite Gargoyle. This was my big oopsie. I should have played 3, 100%. Being able to pitch cards out of your hand. I know it's the #1 target for Bone Scavenger, and for good reason. So this was a really big no-no by me. So don't do what I did and play 3 of these. And then I played the 1 Shade, obviously. Nothing to say about this guy. He's amazing. So for our dark spells, we run 3 Treat. I was just talking about it with Catrina. This card's fantastic. It lets you mill the key cards in your deck, mainly Shade and your Blazewalker package, so you can start recycling, and then also dealing damage to cards that you want to get off the field. Ghostly Demises to kind of get you out of a pinch, whether it's to deal with Repperbloom tokens, Phantasmal Guard tokens, or even Bone Scavenger. Very nice, so I would never minus this either. And then also 3 Yami, which is another great card in this deck. Being able to get back Hoennas, Shriekers, or even your side deck cards, which we'll show here shortly. I don't think you ever play a dark deck without playing Yami. So now for the red package, I ran 3 Blazewalker Arc. This card's fantastic, being able to ping off a early game Bone Scavenger without any available shards up for them to boost it up. You can deal the 1,000 and get it off the board. It clears Repperbloom tokens. It deals with Phantasmal Guards, Azure Seers that are trying to poke in for game, things like that. Leiah, obviously your recycler, keeps the engine running. This card's really good. You need to be careful though. If you get a couple in the grave early, your opponent can remove them one by one and then completely shut down the engine. But that's pretty rare and hard to do. And then the 1 Raine, that's your Blazewalker package. Raine obviously goes in there because it's the free draw. Sorry, so like I was saying, Raine's other effect, other than the draw, actually would come in handy because I played Rao Wyvern Rider. I did like this card a lot. It's nice to poke in for a quick attack and then treat it. You get the token, and then you get to send 4 to the discard zone. Also, it paired well with one of our shards. We played the Wyvern Crystal, so you can pitch things out of your hand to get this back. So that was kind of a nice combination. This card would be sided out, though, for another card I played in the side deck most of the time, but I did like it game 1 for sure. And then our 2 Argent cards that we played were Eccentric Visitor and Watchwoman. Visitor being able to just flip over the Corono to get additional attacks in. That actually came up 2 or 3 times during that tournament where it won me games. So it's fantastic. I was debating on running 2 of these, but I still might do that. 1 was definitely needed. I would never cut this. Watchwoman was nice. I used the target attack ability a lot to get rid of bone scavengers and things like that. So, nothing bad to say about either of these two cards. So for my side deck, the dark cards, I ran 2 delayed poisons. I never brought these in, but they were going to be for bone scavengers. Neutral evil, this was supposed to be for the blue decks, take care of Juggernaut and things like that. Never brought it in. Demon, I probably should have mained this. It came up in the game that I punted. I called the wrong card when I knew what card was in his hand. But anyway, like I said, you live and you learn. So if I were to make this deck again, if my camera will focus, I would definitely main this. So those are the dark cards in the side. The red card that I sided in a lot was GZ. It's very nice. Dealt with problem cards early, like Bone Scavenger. GZ's really good. I'd probably main it over the Rao Wyvern Rider, maybe going forward, just because it's that good. And then for my Argents, I sided 3 Bone Scavenger. I probably should have mained this. I wasn't expecting a whole lot of Ergon, and I actually only played 1. It was the last round, but my 2 losses, this actually would have helped me out. So I guess that says something. I didn't want to main it because it's not that good against Liam Kite. But anyway, I'd probably main this just because it's that good against Ergon. I did side the 3 Raging Shard Beasts. This is something that came in a lot. You know, if you could get past game 1, you're probably bringing these into rush game 2, especially if you lost. So this came in a lot. It was probably my most sided card, right behind Bone Scavenger. I did side the 1 Silverstone Sentinel. I came in a couple times. I sided the 2nd Eccentric Visitor. Didn't come in a whole lot. Secret Project Ira. I brought this in against blue. I never got it off, never drew it. But I did like the theory behind it. And then the 1 Transfiguration Master. I also sided it in, but never saw it. It's nice against Ergon as well to kind of target the Shade, banish it, get rid of it for good, and then also steal it with your Golem of Allurement that we ran 3 of. And then for our shards, we run the traditional 6 Argent Shards. We ran the 3 Wyvern Crystal. Like I said, this was to pitch the Rao Wyvern Rider if it was in your hand in response to this, and then you could pitch a card that you actually wanted to pitch to grab this back. So it was another discard outlet. So I liked that option, and then I ran the 1 Corono Shard just because it's the best one. And then, last but not least, we ran the 5 traditional towers. So that was it, guys. Like I mentioned before, some minor changes that I would make, but the deck was just really good. I really liked it. I played well, as I said. I wish I had not made that mistake, but I think for my second event, second championship, it went pretty well. I don't think we're going to be able to make it to Vegas. It's too much money for the flight, and then you got to pay the additional convention fee on top of the entry fee. But if I can find a cheap flight, maybe I'll go. But it's looking like I won't make Argent Saga Championship 6, maybe 7. But I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section below. Like, comment, subscribe as always. Zeppelin out.